Hello and welcome to Loot Level Chat, the podcast from Loot Level Chill. I'm your host Mick Fraser and I'm joined this week by all three of the Billy Goat Scruff. We've got Steve Chambers.
Hello.
Lyle Pendle.
Hello.
Got the name right. And Kieran Singh.
Hello.
How are you, lads?
I've had better days, mate.
Good.
You've had better days, mate. What's up, Steve?
You know what's up. You've seen pictures of my
Yeah,
feet
but
today.
if you don't tell
know.
us, the listeners and viewers can't laugh along with us.
Everyone got the joy of seeing my feet earlier as I was taking photos from my flooded basement, which I was trying to drain at lunchtime today.
Hang on, I missed
No,
all
it's
this.
nice when part of your house suddenly gains about a foot of water. It's brilliant.
You missed Steve's OnlyFans.
When was this?
Yeah.
If you look at it, you owe me 40
Oh,
quid.
yeah.
Yeah, no, he did.
That's 80 quid we're up to now. Well, 120, I'm assuming Mick looked.
Yeah, I looked twice, mate.
Oh,
Yeah,
going to be able to afford a
not
new
been
handheld gaming PC in no time.
It's not been the greatest Monday, mate. But, I'm happy. Monday? Fuck, I don't even know what day it is anymore. Tuesday. I'm happy here with you guys.
To be honest,
so
you said
I'm
it hasn't been the greatest Monday, and I just went with it. I didn't even speak.
That's how it feels, man. That's what it's done to my brain today.
Well, look, we're going to talk some games, and we've got some games to talk about. Finally, third time's a charm. We finally got some games to discuss because we've been playing some new stuff, and we're going to do it in this order. We're going to talk about. Well, I've got to talk first, which I don't really want to do. So, who wants to talk about Cairn? Who was playing Cairn?
I can start with that.
Yeah, let's talk about Cairn.
Yeah, Cairn is, I suppose, I like to think of it as the latest in the ever popular and growing in popularity subgenre that I'm calling steps likes.
I mean, they're
baby
pretty hot
steps.
right now.
It's not going to take off.
It will. And Cairn is really good. It's a climbing game. It's about you play as a character called Ava, and you are journeying to the top of a mountain for story reasons. And I call it a steps like because it's very much you control individual limbs as you're climbing, and you've got to pick your way up the mountain, choose your route and work out the best way to get up there, and then manually get up there yourself. And it's really good. It's a really, really good game. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Sounds like an SGFC.
I've played a bit of this as well. It's not as punishing in terms of loss of progress as baby steps might be, but I found it more punishing at times whereby I just kind of get stuck in places and you're rapidly running out of rations or things that you might need to progress more.
Yeah, so it's got those survival elements which some other games in this popular subgenre don't have. So you've got to manage your food, you've got to manage your thirst, you've got to manage your grip. So you've got to be able to rub chalk on your hands if your grip's low. You have to bandage your individual fingers. So as you climb and start to make more mistakes and stuff, you start to scratch up your fingers, and there's a process. You have to individually bandage them. So it goes into first person and you look at your hands and sort of go from finger to finger and try and assess how bad the damage is on them, and then manually wrap tape around them. All the bullshit, which I can imagine not everyone is keen on, but I think it's really cool.
Especially actual climbers, it must piss them off a treat.
Well, yeah.
I've just done this all day. I've reached the top of this mountain. I've got my Steam Deck out and it's fucking Cairn.
I found that she's also not, from the couple of hours I put into it, she is not the nicest person to be around either. She is one grumpy
quite cold
bitch.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
See, that's it. See, I get it. Like, there's some games, and I've noticed this is like a bit of a trend sometimes with, and I'm going to say it, female protagonists.
Ooh.
Well, I feel like sometimes, and I don't mean it because they're female, but I feel like sometimes devs feel like, or the writers feel like, that in order to make a female character appear to be strong and independent and tough, they just have to make them be like a grumpy bitch. It's like you don't have to do that. They don't have to be pissed off with everybody in order to be strong and independent. I mean, she's climbing a fucking mountain. She could be doing that in a rainbow hoodie, singing songs, and she's still climbing a mountain.
That sounds great.
Exactly. That's what I would prefer.
That's Lyle sold.
Yeah.
Let's have a happy person climb a mountain, and then we'd root for her.
Well, it's even to the point whereby she's like picking up the odd like answer phone message and stuff on her phone, and she's going along, which is obviously how the narrative progresses. You were picking up these bits of information, and you can see her, she's just like, oh, fuck off to her phone and stuff. Like she is so
halfway up a fucking mountain.
I mean, the fact she's got signal is fairly impressive.
Well, that ties into some of the mechanics, but I suppose before going on to that, there's even a bit, I don't know if you've got to it, Steve, where you bump into someone else up there who's also climbing the mountain.
Yeah, I've not got that far into it.
I mean, it hints at all sorts of. I think she's got some issues with parents and sort of like living in their shadow and stuff. But he's a big fan of her dad's, and he's a big fan of her, and she's just like, more or less rude to him as he's
just a bit dismissive.
Yeah, as they're both clinging to the side of a mountain and trying to have a conversation. She's just not very nice. And I do struggle with it because I like the narrative, I like the setting, I like the gameplay. It's just as a character, she's perhaps not as likable as I would have liked.
Yeah, I played a game last year called Echoes of the End. I can't remember if I reviewed it. I think I did.
Oh yeah,
and it's had some updates since, right? But the one thing that I could not get on with was the main character's a woman. She's like a warrior. She's very powerful. She's got magical abilities. And for the first like chunk of the game, she's got her younger brother with her as like a sidekick. And she's so just fucking relentlessly mean to him. Like for the whole, like everything he does, like he's like, oh, she fights and kills like 3 guys and he kills 2 guys. And she's like, that was shit. What are you doing?
Is that not just like a sibling thing?
2 guys. Well, maybe, but it was really irritating. Like it really got to me because I was like, there's bits like they fall and she like slides to the cliff edge and like grabs his hand and saves his life, and it's like, yeah, she's a hero, but she's just pissed off like he's really inconvenienced her. Like, yeah, I saved your life, but I've scuffed my trousers. What do you think about that? And it's like, you don't need to do this. You can make characters likable because you either do that where they're just like stony faced bitches, or they just wisecrack non-stop. And it's like
no in between, is there? There's no.
And I just think I just don't think people know how to write women most of the time, unless it's Rihanna Pratchett. Just get her to do it, and then at least you've got someone who understands.
I'm assuming, in my ignorance, that's Terry Pratchett's daughter.
It is, yeah.
Oh, cool! I didn't know that was a thing.
And people have issues with her, but I quite like her. She wrote the Tomb Raider reboot and various other things. Yeah, she's quite good. I think so.
I didn't know that.
Now I think I'm wrong. Every time I say something on this podcast, I think, is that right? And then I have to Google it. And now I have to Google it.
What's it like, Ken, then, in terms of, like, you mentioned sort of, like, the narrative, like, what... Because from trailers, I thought that looked really interesting. Like, the story side of it seemed to be quite a bit of a focus, but I didn't really know what the story was, I guess.
Yeah, it sort of drip feeds bits. I've not got completely through the game yet, but... It's very much it's around her overcoming the mountain. Is called Cami, and like her goal is to get to the top of it. It's like the biggest, baddest mountain out there. And as you go through it, you start to learn a little bit more about her family and her family life. But in the early game, at least, it's very much hinting towards family issues and having some some baggage around that. So it is a good narrative, and it's interestingly told. It's just like I said, Ava as a character at the moment is perhaps just a little bit cold and a little bit blunt at times, and it does make it quite hard to connect with her.
See, I thought it was a cozy game just from the visuals of, like, because I hadn't seen it in motion. I'd seen like a minute of it on Steve's video, which I hadn't listened to at the time, and I was like, I thought it just looked, because I think the aesthetic looks like it's going to be a cozy game, and I
really
thought,
beautiful game.
That's a cozy game about rock climbing, but then, like you said, no, it's not. It's quite
it's a lot of survival in it. So you, as you're climbing, you've got this little robot with you called Climbot, and he sort of acts as like he like goes around and picks up your pitons for you when you after you've so there's a mechanic where you can drive. Is it pitons or pitons?
Pitons, I guess.
Drive pitons into the
big bit of metal where you jam into stone.
Yeah, they screw into the rock, and then they almost act as like little checkpoints. So if you do fall, then you don't have to, you don't fall to your death essentially. But he goes back and collects them, and then you can also use him to like recycle rubbish that you find on the mountain, and he'll turn that into chalk for you to use on your hands, or if you break any pitons, he'll fix them for you and that sort of stuff. but the survival elements are quite a lot stronger than I expected. So it's, throughout the game, there's, instead of checkpoints, there's almost like little shrines that you find, and you can use those as points where you put up your biovac. Again, I don't know how half these words are pronounced, to be honest. I'm going to assume it's biovac, but it's like a 10. It's a 10.
Bivouac, maybe.
Oh, maybe it is actually. Yeah,
Bivouac,
Bivouac. I'm just going to call it a 10.
I found that you'd get these moments of you'd find a shrine, climb the next little bit, and you'd find like a little ledge or somewhere you could just stop for a second. You'd think, oh, okay, great, there must be somewhere here to. Oh no, there's not.
No, there's some huge
climb ahead of you still to the next one, and it can be a good. I mean, I had 20-25 minutes between some of them to actually get a save in, and you were constantly nervous of dropping that time. To be fair, not to the extent you might be with, say, baby steps, because you have a little bit of a saving grace in like the pit on.
She doesn't fall to her death then if you make a mistake.
Oh yeah, that can certainly happen.
I've done it a bunch of times. But I think the difference for me where it doesn't. With baby steps, when I fucked up, it was always my fault, because that game is so precise about what you've got your one-to-one control over where your foot goes, and you've got that little shadow, like the Mario butt stomp shadow that tells you exactly where you're going to put your foot. Whereas there's an element of automation, I guess, or course correction to Cairn. So you put your foot down as close to where you want it to go as possible. It will sort of stick to little outcrops to help you, obviously. But I did find in certain spots, particularly when climbing horizontally. So I made my way through a horizontal cave and found like a classroom or something. I think it was buried in, tunneled into the rock, because there's a whole side story about people that living on this mountain. And getting back out again was a fucking pain in the ass, because I was trying to do it backwards, and my foot just kept getting pulled slightly out of where I wanted to go, because the game thought that was the better route to take, I think. It's not always as noticeable at that, but it does get a bit frustrating.
You can sort of swap between limbs. So a lot of the time it will go on auto and assume that if you've moved your left hand, you want to move, say, your right hand next. But I've found that I've actually had to take over quite a few times and like shuffle both hands along a bit, then get a leg up, and then let it carry on as it wants to, essentially. It's also got, I guess, that baby steps element of there is stuff you can go and find if you want to, or you can just completely ignore it and take the main path that you see straight at the cliff face. It will encourage that little bit of exploration, and like you say, there's little bits to go.
Quite a lot of it, actually. I was quite surprised at how much, considering it's like this big, huge, scary mountain that people die when they go up there. There's a shitload of people that have been living up there, and like there's vending machines and all sorts of stuff just dumped up there. I found a rave. I don't know if you found it, Steve. There's a rave up there.
No.
Yeah, it's like full all the remnants of a rave.
Oh, I need to go and have a look for that then. That's cool.
It's cool.
It's going to say it's odd in the fact that it does, from first glance, give a much cozier impression than you would get moments of playing it. That's for sure.
I kind of want a cozy climbing game now.
I don't think there are any.
This isn't it.
Yeah,
you just chill. The best climbing game. Have you ever played? Do you guys play VR much? There's a game called The Climb.
I heard that's good. Yeah.
Which I've got that and the sequel on.
You say that in VR?
Yeah, on Oculus.
That sounds like the least relaxing time.
It's not relaxing, no. It's really atmospheric. It's got great sound, and it really has got that dizzying sense of height. Like you look down, and it's like whoa, and then and because it's like free climbing, there's buildings or there's mountains to climb, and like you have these save points where you reach a save point and you have to pull yourself up, and when you get up you get to sort of stand like on solid ground and you can look around, and it's really quite impressive.
Even that sounds horrible.
And then
Steve looks so miserable as you explained that game. That was great.
The sequel is terrifying in places.
I'm guessing the nearest thing I can think of a cozy climbing game is just mean like Grow Up or Grow Home.
I was going to say a short hike,
I guess.
Closest thing I can think of, and it's not really. There is climbing in it, but it's top down, isn't it?
Grow Up has that. Again, you're using your limbs to just pull yourself with left and right hand. That's quite chill as well. And if you fall, it doesn't make too much an impediment to your progress. So
yeah, Cairn, isn't it? It's a very good game, really, really good game. But if you're looking for something cozy, this is not the one.
Yeah, sounds good. Moving on then, because I've been playing something that is not cozy at all. Which is Code Vein 2. I don't think any of you have been playing this, have you? I know we got...
No, I know of it. Anime Souls.
I think it's only me and Adam. Yeah, it's Anime Souls. The first one was really good. I like. I'm not saying this isn't, but I think the first one was better. Like the first one was a much more, I'd say, traditional Souls-like. Like it had a real, like the movement and the combat and the exploration felt very traditionally Souls-like. So this one it's for what it's open world. Like there's this thing now where everything's kind of going open world, like even games that even Souls-likes now are like, let's just, because Elden Ring did it.
I was going to say blame Elden Ring for that one.
Yeah, and it's kind of like, and everything's doing it. Fucking Metroid Prime 4 went open world. I'm pretty sure the next Mario Galaxy is going to be open world. Like everything's open world now, and that's just like the thing. So this is open world, and and it does have a hub, and you can jump backwards and forwards between things. But like, I feel like the open world kind of takes something, like it didn't in Elden Ring. It didn't take anything away from Elden Ring. It added to it, like because that open world was really well done. Yeah. Like it was such an interesting and beautiful and terrifying world. And it was never like ever once when I was playing Elden Ring did I think, yeah, this place feels like real, like I'm immersed in this real. It never felt real because it's not supposed to, and I get that. But it had an atmosphere that never sort of went away, which Code Vein 2 doesn't really have. Because you're sort of a vampire, but nobody says vampire in it. You are a vampire, like, and you're. Because it's like it's an anime post-apocalypse, which means everything's wrecked, but technology still works and everyone's gorgeous. So
sounds about right.
Yeah, and no one looks like a day over 25. Like even though some of them
at that point.
Yeah, even though some of them are like,
even though they're thousands of years old because they're a vampire.
You know, the older characters just have white hair and like maybe a little white chin beard, and that's how you know that they're supposed to be over 25. So it's like it's a bit strange in that respect, but sort of the idea behind it is that you're a revenant, and obviously you don't really need to feed on people to survive, but it's kind of implied that you do because everyone hates revenants, but the revenants were created to save the world. It's very fucking anime, and it's very over the top. And the first one was very like I said, it was operatic. It was kind of like, it was all like, so your bonfires in Code Vein are called missiles. And you touch one and it sort of would grow and it would become this beautiful big white flower and it would drop a teardrop, and it was all like, every time it was like, by the time you got halfway through the game, you were sort of sick of seeing it and you were like, yeah, all right, just let me press the thing. And then
hammering the button just to get through the cutscene.
Yeah, whereas in Code Vein 2, it's just a thing that is just like there and you just walk up to it and then the character's like, this is a missile. Okay. So it's just, we're not even bothering to contextualize it in the game. We're just... But it is like, it's a big, I think it's about 50 hours. So it's a big ass game. Chunky. But it's just got a very kind of like, it's a very uninteresting open world. Like I think an open world should have stuff in it that makes you want to explore it rather than just having, like, this has got a lot of collectibles and a lot of pickups and power-ups. But that's kind of all there is. Like it doesn't, there's no big landmark.
Like draw the eye in, or
there's nothing that you like. There's no dungeons really. There are things that are sort of dungeon adjacent, where you have to go into like buildings, and you usually have to go down or up, and you've got that sort of stuff. But it's nothing that like might hide something that you really want to go in there for. You just sort of end up doing it for XP, and like it has this weird thing where there's no armor, because it wants you to just use the cosmetics. Because again, it's very anime, and it's a very Japanese type, like that sort of game where like there's a fucking communal hot tub for some reason that you can just go and get in. Because why? Because obviously there's a communal hot tub.
Tell me more.
Because you have these partners in it that you have like so the story is that I'm not retelling it very well. The story is that like there's time travel involved. So there's a character you meet at the beginning called Lou. She's great. Her chest is like wide open. You can just see her heart, this golden heart beating in there. She's really quite cool.
Thought you were going another way there.
No,
I thought. No,
she's one of the 3 characters in it that aren't sexualized. So like. She's but she's cool, and she can travel through time, and you bond with her and she can take you with her, so you can travel backwards and forwards through time. And the idea is that you've got to track down these legendary heroes whose whose actions kind of led to the end of the world. So you go back and you can choose to tamper with what they did, or and help them achieve it, or you can kill them. And like obviously this affects, like there's multiple endings and things. So that's like the main crux of it. Every section you go to is like you're there in the present, so you can see this place. Like the first one is like a sunken city. And then when you go back, it's not sunken yet, so you can explore the city. So it does this like kind of dual state thing.
But are each of these guys like the big bads of the area then?
But usually you work with them up until that point, like because that's how the story works. Like you sort of meet them. Like the first one you meet, she just fucking marries you, like.
As you do.
Yeah, and it's like really fast, and it's just like my beloved, and then you're married, and then she calls you her beloved all the way through like the section that she's with you, and she's really cool. Like she's a cool character, and it's funny, and like, but it's just all like it's so much. It's just like I don't understand who you are and what's going on and why we're doing this. But they travel with you, and the coolest thing about it is that you can either have them beside you to fight with you. And they're really useful. Like it's not like a game where like they just sort of do a tiny bit of damage and distract them. They do like serious damage to the enemy. They draw aggro for the boss. Like any boss you fight, you can take one in with you and they'll draw aggro away from you. And like and they kind of live in this like magical backpack thing you've got. So you can summon them out and then they'll fight beside you. Or you can put them in the backpack and they assimilate with you, so you get buffs based on their strengths.
Okay.
So if you've got lots of enemies, which you quite often do, you can pull one of them out. You can only have one. You have to change them at the missiles, but you pull them out and they'll fight beside you. If you die and they're still active, they'll bring you back with like half life and they'll go on a cooldown. So you get like a second wind.
Second chance.
Mm-hmm. And it will just do that as long as they're alive. When you get downed, it will do that infinitely. So you can kind of kite bosses around an arena until they come back, let them do some damage, which I did with a lot of bosses.
Benny Hill style, just running around the outside.
Yeah, and then but then if you pull them in and you just go solo, you get buffs based on their like strengths and weaknesses and things. So you makes you tougher or faster or whatever.
So what's the feel of the combat like comparatively then?
It kind of feels like it doesn't feel like a Souls-like. Like it's got the heavy and standard attack, it's got the dodge, it's got the parries, it's got all that stuff that you'd expect, but it doesn't feel like a Souls-like. It feels faster. And I won't say more fluid because sometimes it is quite clunky, but it's not as precise and as measured as it would normally be in a Souls-like.
So it won't punish you as hard then, essentially, for
only the bosses. It's closer to like a Neo, I guess, or like a Ninja Gaiden. It's a bit faster and combo based, but it's not punishing in terms of like the difficulty. Really, it's more the fact that the bosses, the hitboxes are fucked. Like I've not played a game with hitboxes like this where you can dodge as far as you can physically dodge from the boss and it still hits you. So it's like sometimes you just can't dodge out of the way. Sometimes you'll dodge one attack and in the time you've dodged, it's done the follow-up attack, which just gets you on the backswing. And I was just like, am I supposed to parry? But you can't always parry everything effectively because the parry is like obviously based on stamina. So if you've used a bit of stamina and then you block, it just damages you through it. Yeah, it's just really.
It sounds a little messier than what we used to.
It's very messy, and the bosses have this fucking awful tracking attacks where if you dodge just slightly too early, they just change direction at you, which I hate. I hate in any Souls like that does that. It drives me up the wall because it's like, but I was still out of the way. But no, you did it earlier than the game's window, so the boss just moves with you, and it's like it's really
got to be frame perfect.
It's really frustrating. So that's where the difficulty is. And because the story wasn't really gripping me, and because the world wasn't really making me want to explore it, because it's not very beautiful. It's not a beautiful big open world. It's quite dingy. There's textures that pop in and out in places that put me off. Sometimes it's just empty. I was trying to farm to grind a few levels because there was a boss that just kept nuking me. And I was like, well, what can I do? I can't go anywhere else. I can explore this massive world. I found a couple of optional bosses, which I did. And then I roamed around for a bit. And I was just like, where are the enemies? Where is anything in this world to attack me? And then you'd find a dude that would psychically notice you from 1,000 yards away and start shooting at you. And the rest of it, it was. So it's not a great experience, and it's a shame because Code Vein I really liked. It had something, and it felt quite different, and it felt quite new. And the anime,
it had a very
Souls
cool look about it, I remember as well.
Yeah, but I mean, we had a game last year called AI Limit that reminded me of Code Vein. That was another anime Souls game. And it really genuinely could have just been set in that universe, in that it looks exactly like it and felt like it. And that I didn't think that was great. So yeah, Code Vein 2, not really anything to write home about, sadly.
Just not the start of the year you wanted.
I was really hoping it was going to be super good because I really liked the first one. And I mean, it's got the anime stuff, it looks pretty good in motion, fluidly. It looks pretty good. Some of the women are proportioned how you would expect, but the male characters are proportioned it's just weird. The main dude who's with you at the beginning, his name's Noah. His neck is as long as my arm. It's just weirdly drawn. It's so strange. When you see him, the dude is just all neck and no chin, and it goes into his head, and he's got this little pointy anime chin.
I'm just imagining Earthworm Jim now.
And it's just very strange. He wears a coat with just big holes at the side. It's just very it's just some weird character designs that are a little bit odd. And there's no armor. So all you can do is go into the hub base, which is really confusingly laid out. There's just corridors and steps up and down for no reason. They could have just put it in a room and just put everything you needed in a circle around the main area, but no, you've got to go down this corridor, turn left, go up some steps, go right, go down some steps into a basement, through a back door, under a privy, and it's
that's just like the real world, Mick. You know that.
It drives me mad. But you could go somewhere in the base that was down 9 million corridors, and you could find a room where, even though it's a solo game, there's 8 mirrors aligned around the room, and you can go to any of the 8 mirrors and change your entire appearance, gender, hair, everything. You could just switch.
That's what we all do in the mirror.
Exactly. But why there's 8, I don't know, because you only need 1. Why it has to be down a really distant fucking end of this place, I don't know.
Is it the equivalent of trying to get to the bathroom in the Wetherspoons?
It's like that. It's exact. I think, in fact, it's probably based on the
Wetherspoons.
Yeah. But yeah, so things so it was a game of little annoyances, and I couldn't lock in properly with it. Everything, and it got to a point where I was just let's just push on, and then I couldn't push on because I'd meet another boss with a ridiculous hitbox that I couldn't get through. So and in the end, I would just hit a boss, go and grind for ages till I was over leveled now, then come back and then just bully the boss by basically cheesing him, using my partner to do as much damage as possible while I just fired arrows, because you get a bow, or you've got a ranged weapon, and you can just shoot until you run out of something called Ichor, and then you get that back by doing a special attack. But the good thing is that if you've got a partner active and you run out of Ichor, they just give you some. So I just run out of Ichor, kite the boss for a bit, wait for my partner to give me some, and then just do it again. So in the end, I just ended up leveling up whatever skill, or because you don't even have proper skills. So when you level up, it just levels you up. You can't choose which stat to increase. You just get a blanket level increase. But every character you meet gives you a blood code, and a blood code is something you equip, and then that changes your stats. So Noah's blood code, because he's a one-handed sword user, his blood code is built for that. And then there's a character called Iris who's got a great big hammer, and her code is for big heavy two-handed weapons. And so when you equip a blood code, you have to level it up by using it. And then when you level it up completely, if the character's still with you, they'll give you another, like they give you level 2. Here's my level 2 blood code. Makes no sense in context.
So there's a level of specialization in it then.
It just makes it easier to respec. So when you switch weapons, like when you switch from a one-handed sword to say a halberd or two-handed or 2 swords, you change your blood code to match.
Right.
And then and it's it's like a weapon kit. And then like when you've maxed one out, you take it to this main character who's like this game's Lady Dimitrescu, and she will over the top of her ridiculous breasts extract a booster from the maxed blood code, and then you can equip up to 4 of these boosters. And then that, so it's like the systems work, everything works, but it's just not very fun, which is like the sticking point for me. Because
not ideal, really, is it?
Even if I'm playing a Soulslike, I kind of want it to be, and it's just not really that fun. But I didn't hate it. You know, I gave it a 7 because it has got a lot of good stuff going on. It just lacks what I wanted from it, which I think I wanted the first game plus, and it doesn't feel like that. It feels like they've taken stuff away and they've not replaced those things with anything good.
Well, this is a series I've seen. I've not played the first one. I've seen it numerous times, like Steam sales and stuff. It's like it seems like it's always a $5 constantly.
Yeah,
and I didn't expect it to get a sequel particularly. It sounds like this might have killed off any further potential.
I wouldn't. I mean, it's in house by Bandai Namco, so it could still get
even more.
It and it might get him. You know, they might update it and improve elements of it, maybe.
Yeah,
but yeah, I just wanted more from it. I was expecting more because the first one had such potential but didn't quite get there, and I thought they would do it with this one, and they just didn't. They sort of went the other way a little bit, and I don't think it's as good. But that's my opinion.
Start the year with a solid 7.
Well, you know, people forget that 7 means good. You know, it's still a good game. If it's 6, it's still a decent game.
Why do we live in a world that unless anything is like a 9 or a 10, we basicly treat it as dog shit nowadays? I don't get it.
If you give a game an 8 that everyone loves, they just come for you.
Yeah,
it's like, why do you hate this? I gave it an 8. 8 means
great.
Well, it's not great.
Eight's great. Yeah. But yeah, so that's Code Vein 2. I don't know. I don't want to not recommend it, but because if you really like the first one, you might really like this one. But if you're really are a Souls fan and you're looking for a new Souls game, it maybe tied you over till Neo 3, but you might be better off waiting for that. Maybe
it's not that far off, is it? Really,
a couple of weeks, you know. And Neo 1 and 2, and obviously they did Wo Long as well, which is very Neo adjacent.
Yeah,
they're all really good and slightly better, I think, in terms of like the world and the way they do everything. So like maybe just do that.
Look at this, it's generally better.
Yeah, but yeah, that's okay. And also they're always on sale. You can pick up Neo 2 now for next to nothing. And I think there's like a special edition where you get both games and the DLC as like a package.
Oh, okay, sweet.
The definitive edition or something it's called. But yeah, I recommend that. And I've really shit on Code Vein 2 now, which I didn't intend to. I do quite like a lot of the game. It's just not very.
7's a really good score.
Yeah,
but
it's good. It's not great. But Lyle played a game that he thinks is great because he gave it a big old 9 out of 10. So it's a whole.
That's better than great.
Yeah, it's way better than great. Which is Escape from Ever After.
Yes.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, basically, Escape from Ever After is if you liked Paper Mario before they stopped making it not really like a more standard RPG, then you've been missing that. You're missing the 1,000-Year Door days. Escape from Ever After is basically that, but with like a fairy tale setting, sort of, but like a fairy tale setting with a twist. So you play as Flint, who's like this very standard like fairy tale hero off to slay the evil dragon Tinder in his like standard fairy tale story. And he gets to the castle and the dragon basically isn't there, and instead it is just a big corporation called like Ever After Incorporated. So he's like, what? Where's the dragon? I came here to fight the dragon. Like, I've tried to fight the dragon 3 different times and I lose every time, but I really thought this was the one. And this company is basically like from the real world expanding into fairy tale stories for like profit and shit. So it's
That's
sort
really
of got
cool.
that weird like workplace comedy vibe almost of like a, what was that? Was it Death Inc. or something like that from a few years ago?
Oh, everyone like sat around in like the office full of typewriters and shit. And
Yeah, it's sort of got that vibe, and so you get thrown in the dungeon with Tinder the dragon, who's basically been like has like some sort of collar on that restricts dragon powers, and you sort of after having a moment of like thinking you'd never be friends, you sort of team up to get out, and you end up joining the workforce because it's the only way that they'll let you go. So you're sort of trying to take down this like corporation from the inside, and your job ends up being like new stories that they've like had like acquisitions of. You go into different fairy tale stories and you're supposed to sort of be doing what they want, but you end up pretty much always trying to defy them to, you know, screw things up for them. So like you go to like the sort of three little pigs who are these like who have been hired to be like to take over this village of really friendly wolves and industrialize it. And then, you know, you sort of end up fighting on the side of the wolves and you get a new party member. And it's just, it's really cute. It's really well done. And it's like, it's a lot cleverer than it really needed to be for this sort of game. You know what I mean?
okay, yeah.
And then in terms of combat, it is almost exactly Paper Mario. Like it's so much of this game feels exactly lifted from Paper Mario. And even in like the description on the Steam store, like they're not hiding it. They're not saying this is our really unique RPG. They're saying like play our Paper Mario inspired game. And it's very Paper Mario inspired. But like if you have missed that, like this is like the best Paper Mario game that there's been in like 20 years. Just it's not called Paper Mario. So it's like a really cool, like it was very cozy for me, like very, you know, on brand of our discussion of coziness, which has been a little bit lacking in everyone else's games so far. But for me, this was like just this super cozy thing of like, it reminded me of being back in my teens and playing through these like RPGs that just had that timing based combat and the little sort of silly elements that really sort of elevated it for me and made it just a lot more interesting, really.
I was going to ask that. The combat is turn-based then, but where you've also got a timed element, i.e. like hit at the right moment to boost the attack.
Yeah, basically that sort of thing. So Flint throws his shield for his attacks, and when the shield lands back to you, if you press A at the right time, you'll throw the shield again for bonus damage. Okay. Or for the dragon, it's that there's like a fire breath and you have to hold down the A button until a meter fills and then let go at the right time and you'll do the most fire damage and that sort of thing. It's very much like it's even the same actions pretty much as what Paper Mario did in a lot of ways. But like the way they sort of make the combat, like mix up the combat as you go is really cool. Like there's so many different enemy types where one will be holding a shield and if you throw the shield at it, your shield at it, then it'll just like bounce off and you'll deal no damage. But if you switch to the dragon, you can burn the shield and they drop it. Or if you have an enemy that have your wolf ally, his attack is like a musical attack that just like can't be blocked. So it works well against them. And everyone's got all these different special abilities. So you'll get like a tower of gnomes. Gnomes stack up on top of each other whenever you fight many of them in combat. And one of the moves that the wolf can do is they can like grow a beanstalk out of the ground, and if they're all in one line, then it literally hits all of them and you just kill them in one move. And it's really cool. It's like it's got a level of creativity and a level of thought that you have to put into each like new enemy you end up encountering, and it means you're not just like mashing, I'll just use my strong attack for every fight, you know?
Just press A every now and again just to hammer it out and job done.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot of that. And it's also got a lot of customization in terms of like it has the badges from Paper Mario, right? where you equip like various trinkets and they all give you either like different attacks or power boosts, and you know you've got to sort of balance which ones you think work best for you. And yeah, they're called trinkets instead of badges, so they're very different. And don't worry about it. But it's so weird because like normally when a game is to this level of like derivative, it's hard to be like that excited about it. But when it's derivative of something that hasn't really had a good entry, or at least the same sort of entry in like decades, it's just like it's so nice to have someone doing that sort of game. And Like there's been a few
those
other
games
ones.
are so beloved by people back in the day. It can ride
100%.
that nostalgia, can't it? So
Even I like
Yeah.
Thousand Year Door. I think that's a great game.
Yeah, and it's so like Thousand Year Door. That's the direct comparison. That specific Paper Mario game, the very best one.
I have a
is
question actually. So,
Mhm.
are they made out of paper in this? Because in Paper Mario, part of the conceit is that they're made out of paper and they do stuff with it, like fold up into planes and
Yeah,
like
they aren't made out of paper, but they are flat. But you don't really
Right.
do much with the flatness. It just sort of still looks like Paper Mario.
there.
But you do have, outside of combat, you do still have the same sort of like using different abilities to access different areas and stuff like
Oh,
that. So,
cool.
like you know, like the fire breath of the dragon will burn down certain things, or the wolf sort of learns more songs as you go through. So one of them makes plants grow, one of them like lets out a gust of wind that can, you know, help with certain situations, that puts out fires, and all these little like minor puzzle elements and minor almost like Metroidvania-esque bits where it's like as you grow the amount of things you can do, you sort of gain access to more bits. You can get to more little areas in the office that you couldn't before and do little side quests like helping someone have a good birthday party, or you know, just stupid office shit.
This sounds really good.
I've never played Paper Mario. It's one of those things, because I say it every week, I'm not a Nintendo fan, but I've never played Paper Mario. But it is one of those things that people have, like, I always get recommended to play that. Like, everyone's always like, yeah, but you don't even necessarily have to be a Mario fan to enjoy. And I like Mario, don't get me wrong. I like a Mario game, but like I've always looked at it and always been like, maybe not for me. But like when I edited your review of Escape from Ever After, and I was like, this kind of looks really fun. Like I like all, like, it seems to have a lot of other elements to it. Like,
Yeah.
like, is it like, am I wrong in like you've got to like like not necessarily decorate your office, but there's like other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you can decorate your office. Your office is always there, where you'll go like between chapters back to the like
that's
whole like corporation, regardless. But like there, yeah, you can decorate your office. You can check your emails, which will give you hints for side quests that like other people in the office, you know, need help with. Like someone might not be able to find a spoon to eat the lunch, or someone might be trying to organize a team for the office quiz night and like stuff like that. It's all just these little like silly things, but like they work out as really interesting and engaging.
That element sounds cool.
Yeah, and it's like literally the quiz. Like I fucking nailed the quiz just through pure luck. Like didn't really 100% know any of the answers to questions, but the quiz is like
that's
literally
one about them, mate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you know, take what I can get, really. But like the quiz was like 5 different questions just about like how many people lived in this village that you were in the last chapter, and I was like, I don't fucking know, 14? And it's like, oh yeah, okay, nailed it. And it's just like silly multiple choice things of like remembering how much something costs at a shop and shit like that, that it's not that important, but it like makes for like, it's not just a side quest where you're going to fight familiar enemies or you're going to like just do a fetch quest or something. It's like, it's just that bit more meaningful and that bit more like thematic, and
sounds more entertaining doing it that way.
Definitely. It's also got the Paper Mario staple of 1,000 floor dungeon that's optional. 100 floor even dungeon that's optional. So you can do that if you want. If you do just want more combat.
For no apparent reason, I'm assuming this is quite a little short blast of a game. I mean, based on literally nothing that you've told me.
It's not like it's not like super long for an RPG, but it's not short. I'd say like it's over 10 hours, probably not more than 15. I guess. I can't really remember.
Kind of keep you for a weekend, you know what I mean?
Exactly. It's like it was a really nice. There was nothing else I wanted to be playing when I was playing it. It was this perfect, like, cozy, easygoing. Like it has enough difficulty and enough variety to keep you engaged, but it's not necessarily like I'm gonna like really have to focus and can't like have distractions going on and shit. And because of its familiarity to, you know, a game I fucking love, it already feels less sort of daunting to play. You know, it's not, you're not playing something entirely new and that you've got to wrap your head around, because if you remember anything from playing a Paper Mario game on the Nintendo 64 or on the GameCube, then you're pretty much set, you know? You'll be all right.
The only one I've ever touched is the one on Wii. Oh, what the fuck?
Was that just called Paper Mario, or was it Super Paper Mario?
That was Super Paper Mario, yeah, that's right.
I
the one
tried
where
that.
flips it, and it's sort of like a platformer where
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
change
things would twist
perspectives
around and jump about still, and
yeah, and it wasn't turn-based or
No.
really very RPG.
so literally nothing like it at all, really.
No, not really. And
No,
there's
none of
plenty
them are.
others that also aren't much like it at all as well. If you go further forward in time, if you want, you know.
I think I've tried all of them, and not one of them has ever grabbed me in the way that 1000 Year Door did. But
Yeah.
this sounds really good, actually.
Yeah, because there have been a few other indie games that have kind of tried to do similar. There was one called Bug Fables, I think, where you had like
Oh,
a
yeah.
party of
I
insects, and
remember
that was
Yeah.
quite fun. It was very sort of same sort of thing, but it's not quite to the level of Escape from Ever After. I don't think like this is the best that it's ever been sort of aped a little bit and brought that nostalgia.
It's such a good aesthetic as well. Like you think more games would do it. Like the only one I could think of
100%, yeah.
recently was Echoes of Plum Grove, which was like a farming game that would look like Paper Mario, and it's just like such a nice, like a nice aesthetic to do something relaxing in.
100%.
Well, since we're discussing cozy games, and it's come up a couple of times, and it's January still, just by
Cozy
my
season,
count.
isn't it?
It is cozy season, and I thought I would ask about go-to cozy games that you guys have, because I'm not a cozy game aficionado. Like a cozy game for me is just a comfort game. Like I don't mind a cozy game, but if I'm not killing something, I don't tend to. It doesn't chill me out much. You know, like a cozy game for me is just like Diablo 4 or Space
What does
Marine
that say
2.
about you, Mick? Jesus Christ.
Probably says a lot. So like from that perspective of a really, because like the only cozy game I've really gotten into recently was Wonder Stop, and I only played that last year because I reviewed it. Otherwise I probably wouldn't have. Like I wouldn't have chosen to buy that or pay for it. But I really liked it. But I don't seek out that kind of game generally. But I thought like you guys do tend to play cozy games, and I thought we could talk about like.
I'm a little more like you in the fact that I do like a few cozy games, but it's more comfort gaming around this time of year, I guess, as much as anything else. It's finding something you're happy just to settle into. Like for me, there is no way you can describe Balatro as a cozy game, but that is a comfy game for me, and it's something I can just dip into, lose 4 or 5 hours to, and it just feels nice and soft and warm and cuddly for me because I'm so used to playing it. But that's a whole different, you know. There's aesthetically, there's nothing like a cozy game. Things you might attribute to that genre, I guess. I mean, Stardew, surely has to be one of the ultimate cozy games.
That's one of the best of all time, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
See, I've never played.
Since
I've never played Stardew because I've no. See, the only reason I played Animal Crossing was it New Horizons on. Yeah, the only reason I played that was because Nintendo launched that right at lockdown in 2020. Like I was furloughed from work. Everybody was furloughed. Everybody was kind of stuck indoors because it was the pandemic, which we'll talk about for generations to come with our kids and our grandkids.
Oh, God, yeah.
But because we were all just indoors for fucking 3 months. And like that game out at just exactly the right moment. We basically had like a 3-month January where we couldn't go anywhere except our garden, and Animal Crossing, and I would never have played it. And Adam was like, you should really try this. You should really try it. And I think I got a code from the site at the time. So I was like, yeah, okay, I'll give it a whirl. And like, yeah, that really consumed me. But I've never, everyone said at the time, like, oh, if you like that, maybe try Stardew Valley or, but never have.
I think that came along, like we say, at literally the perfect moment it could have done, and it gave us all that base level of connection to each other. Even though, you know, we were all having our own little thing going on, there were always elements to discuss that we're all working around. Like, oh, you're all working towards the museum, or you're trying to catch these bugs, and having those options to say, like, contact each other a weekend. Oh, who's got turnip prices for this? And it gave that sense of connection, and that was part of that coziness, even though we were all separate.
And routine, like it had that routine.
The structure.
Which is another thing I really enjoyed about Wonder Stop was the fact that there was a routine to it. Like Animal Crossing did that because obviously you'd gone from having like a full-time job to everybody was kind of even to the point where it was like, is my company even going to reopen? Like, what's going to happen? Like, what's going on? How long is this going to last? You know, and like, it gave you that routine. I'd get up, I'd go and dig up the weeds and harvest the fruit. And then, like, I can't go to the shops in real life, but I can go to the museum and I can go to the store and I can do like that.
It's quite a human thing to crave, isn't it? I think that most people would have a routine in their lives and they're happy with having that. You know, we're very much at home, and every morning we get up, have a set routine, people do things at certain times, and as soon as that deviates, it fucks your whole day. You're like, what am I doing now? And we all like that as humans, I think, or the majority of humans do.
Yeah, but what about you, Kieran?
I mean, I play a shitload of cozy games. Like,
you are a cozy person here.
Yeah, I follow all the cozy creators on TikTok, and I'll watch the wholesome game show, isn't it? The annual show for this stuff. I love it. I just find like by the end of a busy work day, my brain is mush, and I do find these are the sort of games that really help me switch off. Stardew's really good. I keep telling Jan that she needs to log into my Steam account and start playing some of the stuff I got on there, because I've got dozens and dozens of like Stardew-like games on there that she'd enjoy. I played Cozy Caravan for the site recently, which was quite a nice game. It's very slow, so it's on the slower end of the cozy games sort of spectrum, and that's so obviously.
I mean, and that's not a genre that's known for its speed.
It's not a fast genre. So for this is
glacial at that point.
Yeah, and it was almost too slow at times, but it's just a really nice time. Like I think there's different types of cozy games. There's the farming ones, so like Stardew or Story of Seasons. You've got quite a lot of cozy games though that I there's no real name for them, but I think of them as like games where you just do errands or little tasks or activities.
Yeah.
So
okay.
Like, I don't know if anyone's played Little Gator Game or A Short Hike. Both of those have you just sort of running around doing stuff for people. So like collecting feathers or finding a solution to a problem. And it's
just about enjoying being in that world, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's a game called Palia that's a bit like that. I don't know, have you tried Palia? It's kind of like like a cozy MMO, basically.
Yeah, I've seen it. I've not tried it.
That's sort of structured around just like helping this little community that you're in. So it's an MMO, but you're not going dungeon raiding. You're like helping each other farm and like craft things, and it's got like a real sense of community. I mean, I found it quite boring, but like it's quite popular. So like, it's just me that it doesn't click with me. But I think I previewed it at the time, and like I got quite into it. Again, I was like obligated to a little bit, but I did quite enjoy the time I spent in it, because it was like I said, it's structured, but you're helping each other.
Yeah, and it's just nice. It's just a nice way, and I won't play them all the time, but I find, like I said, at the end of a busy workday, these are the sort of games that even just for 45 minutes help me just sort of melt into the sofa. I usually play them on either Switch or on my ROG Ally, and I'll just melt into the sofa and put some headphones on, and don't have to think about anything other than like, helping this little frog man get to the bee farm so he can pick up some honey or whatever it is that you're doing in Cozy Caravan. And Cozy Caravan's a really nice example of the genre, because it's such a pretty game. Like, it's got this sort of ever so slight tilt shift effect on the camera.
Okay, yeah. So it looks like toys.
Yeah, everything looks like it's like a miniature, and you're looking down into a diorama, and all the characters move. Like the frame rate on the characters is ever so slightly slower than everything else, so they almost have like a little stop motion effect on them. And as with most of these games, the camera's pulled quite high up, so you can see lots of stuff around you. You see all the different environments and stuff. But there's a photo mode which lets you get right down into the like floor level, and you can really sort of take a good look at the detail of the world that they built, and it's really impressive, I think. And it's just a really nice, like, cute looking like foresty town place where you can it's just really, really nice. And
I guess it's that kind of game, that kind of aesthetic, because you've got nothing better to do than pot around and help your froggy mates.
Yeah,
you will spend the time to actually look at the detail more than you would doing something with, like, it's all well and good having a high-paced action game that looks wonderful, but you ain't looking at it most of the time. You're concentrating on what's in front of you. As here, you can take a moment, relax, grab a cocoa, and delve into it a bit more.
Yeah, and pottering's a good way of putting it, I think. Actually, that is what you're doing a lot of times. You're just pottering around, helping people in this, you're driving your caravan with your nan around, like.
I was going to say, so it's basically being a grandma sim at that point.
Yeah. And
what I do today? I've just wandered to the post office.
Yeah, basically exactly that.
Phones,
sold some honey, and you ride around this caravan, and you can go into the back and cook meals up and give them to people, and your caravan's pulled by like a giant bumblebee called Rigby, which I thought was quite cute. It's just like I said, it's just a really nice, relaxing way to spend like a few hours, and these games are never that long either, which is what I like. You can get through them pretty quickly,
unless it's Stardew.
Well, Stardew's basically
and then it just turns into your life.
I would argue Stardew's probably, it is a cozy game, but it worms its way into your brain so much, and you're trying to plan out the next day and the next day and the next day, that actually sort of veers away from being cozy and almost being like,
it can be
like neurotic.
It's a second job.
Yeah.
Well, I've got to do this today, or else they're going to die in the next week. Oh my god! Oh yeah,
so cozy, feeling cozy.
Yeah, so cozy. Yeah, running around like a mad ass. But there was a game called, you guys mentioned earlier in the week, Lyle, I think you played a game called Videoverse that you said was quite...
Yeah, this was, for me, I find cozy gaming for me tends to be more narrative. So like a lot of games that end up being just sort of narrative games just by default end up sort of feeling like my cozy distractions, where I'm basically just taking in a story pretty much. But Videoverse, I reviewed, it came out on Switch and consoles like late last year, and I think it's been out on PC since like 2022 or something like that. So it's easy to obtain at this point for sure. But I just got like nudged to see if I could do a review randomly early in January, and I was like, yeah, sure, it looks nice, and it was really nice. I really, really enjoyed it. Like, it would have been on a game of the year list of the year it released. Like, it was just really lovely. It's a story where you play as like a teen boy who likes nothing more than playing on his Kimoko Shark, I think is the fictional console.
I had to say that the other day, and I stumbled over it about 58 billion times.
Oh yeah, you did. You did have to do that. But yeah, it's a fictional console. It's supposed to be that you're in like 2003, I think is the set year. But the console sort of has an online mode that is basically Miiverse from the Wii U. So awesome. There's like
the best Wii U game, Miiverse.
The best Wii U game.
The only reason to play a fucking Wii U was Miiverse.
So you basically spend this whole game on like a pretend forum made of pictures, and there's just like different basically like different message boards for like, one of them's for feudal fantasy, the like RPG of the game, one of them's like just an art corner, one of them's just for chatting, one of them's like for console news and stuff. And but there'll always be some people who are doing things a bit off topic. There'll always be some people who post in the wrong thing, like Matt King on the Discord. There will sometimes, like, the whole premise of the game is that this online community, when the new console is like has been out long enough, this community will die, and like they're just going to switch it off, and it's like you've got a few more months left with it. And so like, as they're paying less attention and care, this fictional like console owner to the community, the mods sort of disappear. So like, people will start doing like slightly lewder drawings that won't get taken down because it's all sort of falling apart a bit, but you're trying your best to do your bit to like, because you can like mark things as being inappropriate,
absolutely snitching on people.
Yeah, and you can like messages, you'll get the option to reply to certain ones, and it's just like, it really felt like being in an old school like internet forum, but in the most like lovely, ideal way you could pretty much ever be in that situation. And then there's this whole story of like, the character Emmett, he meets this girl Violet on the console, and like clearly really falls for her, and then it's all about like how their relationship sort of goes, and it goes into some like really deep stuff. Like, Emmett is very much like well off boy who has never really had to think about like money problems or family problems. Like he's just got a happy life with his like parents. Like he doesn't know any different. And by being on this online forum, he discovers like there are people who like are talking about, like there's literally one person who repeatedly every few days just posts on the like off-topic board, "Hey everyone, I'm gay," and like you get to see the reactions of people being like, "Oh yeah, way to go, like really glad you're able to come out," and then there's, you know, a few trolls of being like, "What the fuck you posting this for?" and stuff like that. But like he's like learning about all these different things. There'll be one person he talks to for ages who he thinks is his age and who's actually like 10 years older and is going through a divorce, and like he'll just be like, "Oh shit, like I didn't realize."
Do they arrange to meet up at any point, or
you arrange
Not that
to meet up
kind
with
of game.
the girl?
Oh,
but
okay,
it's not. It is not.
I got the wrong end of this.
But there's like terms of service where you're not supposed to arrange to meet up. So like that's all sort of a little bit a part of the background of the story. It's like the most lovely, easygoing narrative, and like the coziness as well is like at any point after you've experienced enough of like the story of a given like day of the game, you can basically press like a button to be like, well, I can, like, you get a little message of like, I could log off for the day now, or you can carry on and just scroll through every message board. And like the coziness for me came from like never ever agreeing to go to the next day, and until I'd looked at every message, liked everyone I wanted to like, replied to everyone I could reply to, and it's just this really lovely little like daft social experience that also has way more heart and way more meaning than I was really prepared for. And yeah,
Sounds lovely.
It's just dawned on me what like a Herculean task that must have been to put together
Yeah.
an entire like
Yeah.
Miiverse to explore. That must have taken fucking forever.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the reason there are 4 like message rooms instead of like, you know, 20 or something.
Yeah,
Like they clearly had that scope. But even on top of that, it's like you get the option to reply in a lot of these places, and then you get messages back based on your reply. And it's even kind of clever how like these things will take a bit of time. So like it makes sense for you to like send a message to someone in your like inbox first, where you know that's going to be like the important story later on. Because otherwise, if you check all the other message boards first and then send your message, you just sort of sat there like, oh, well, I'm not really got anything to do now because they're not
just like real life.
now.
I've run out of stuff now. Shit.
Yeah. Oh, that sounds quite interesting. Actually, it sounds different. Like,
Yeah,
because I assumed Videoverse was like some like horror text adventure thing. It sounds like David Cronenberg's Videoverse or something, you know.
Yeah.
So I was quite surprised when you said it was a cozy game.
Not enough body horror for your liking, Mick.
No. Yeah, we're running out of time a little bit, but there's one that's I don't know what it was about Videoverse that made me remember. There's a cozy game that I go back to quite often, and it's called Dystopica. I don't know if any of you have seen Dystopica.
I've never heard of this setup.
And basically, it's a cyberpunk city builder, right? But there's no government, there's no citizens to keep happy. There's nothing beyond. You just build an endless city. And what it does is it's got a really, really cool Blade Runner-y cyberpunk aesthetic to this city. And like you've got like a drop down with loads of like different types of building. And you've got like the big cyberpunk neon signs and like 3D adverts, yeah, all that sort of stuff. And you click on one, and then you just sort of drag the mouse across the city, and then wherever you drag it, it just peppers these things around. And then like depending on what you build next to other things, different buildings will sort of spring up on their own. And the only choices you've got to make beyond what node to put down is how tall to make it. So like you can click on the top of it and drag it up, and then like the square node will become like this huge skyscraper, or like there's like a round one that starts off as like a little, almost looks like a futuristic sort of like temple or mosque or something. But if you grow that, it becomes like a massive stadium. And so like, and then you click on like the adverts or the lights, and then you just sort of pepper them over the, like with the mouse wherever you want. And it just creates this like, and I love like the cyberpunk aesthetic. It's like my favorite thing to look at, like neat, like Tokyo in the rain and that sort of stuff. I just can look at that forever. And like, because you've got this like really chill like synthwave soundtrack in the background. So like I can put like earphones on, turn the lights off, and just sit and just like dream away with this game. And there's no goal. It doesn't want you to do anything. You just sit and build the city. And like when you zoom in, you can see like little lights zipping around where there's like ships coming in and there's like flying cars, but it's not detailed. Everything's just a speck of light that implies there's something there. But I just
creation just for the joy of creation, and that's
and it's like $3.99 or something, and it's like it's really good on Steam, but it's also, I think it's a mobile game, or it was a mobile game originally. But yeah, Dystopica, it's just really fun and really like just, you know, when a game just doesn't demand anything. Like it demands absolutely nothing, to the point where if you just close it, when you open it, the city you built is just still there. Like you don't have to save it. You don't have to do, and you've got like things like you can choose different sort of like not aesthetics, but you can change like the way the colors work with each other, or you can change the music, or like you can wipe the city if you want and start again, and it will just give you like this base thing to start with, and then you just start again. But like I said, it can just go forever, and you can zoom around it and go close up, and it
sounds closer to an art piece as much as anything else.
That's what it feels
I'm
like.
just looking at it. It looks like there's a few of these games. I think Townscaper was the first one. I don't know if
is that the one I'm trying to think of with like the pastel color building?
Yeah, you drag and drop. You just drag hours paint basically paint buildings.
Yeah,
there was Cozy Glade, I think, is the other one where it's like little castles and it does the same sort of thing.
Yeah. It's just really simple and real, and I don't even know why they're fun. But they're just, and I think it's just the fact that
it's distraction, isn't it? It just takes you out of something for a moment.
Yeah, because you've just created something that is absolutely like unique to you, because you like there's no rhyme or reason or form to it. You just chuck things down and it looks good at the end, and then like you're like, is it Cozy Glade? I think was it. Oh no, I'm thinking of Tiny Glade.
Oh, Tiny Glade, that's it.
Yeah, that's the castle one, which is similar. And that's the same. You can just go into it, because I played the demo of that. I never actually played the full game, but I played the demo of it. And that was like that. You could just go in, there's some really nice music, everything's chill, it looks lovely, and you just build with no one. Because the thing about city builders, I love a Sim City or Skylines, but pretty soon, like eventually, the citizenry just start to piss you off. Because you can fire stations, but you know, and it's like
city builders are cozy until they are not cozy.
Until something goes wrong,
and it just goes wrong, and then it's like, I remember SimCity had like Godzilla attacks and shit, and I was just
UFOs and stuff going on, man.
And like, it just stops. It just gets in the way of the cozy.
The downside of having like one of these on your phone sounds like it's going to turn a 10-minute toilet break into a written warning.
I wouldn't ever.
You know what I mean? It's not going to end well.
I don't game generally on mobile anyway. I play like Alchemy and stuff on mobile, so that's like me. That's a mobile game for me, you know, or like Wordle or something. I
won't daily connections and that's it done.
Yeah, like I downloaded I've got Diablo Immortal and stuff like that, but I just don't, because I would be there forever and it would get in the way of life. But yeah, this is just, I've only played this on Steam, Dystopica, but
I might have a gander.
Yeah, it's worth it. Like I said, it's on our Steam library, and if it's not, it's like a couple of quid, you know, to pick it up, and it's just a Friday night chill thing where you've got nothing else to do, or you've had a stressful day, and the house is quiet. I like it.
So everyone listening, that's your homework for the week. Go away, play a little bit of this. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, play some cozy games, and then let us know what you think. But that, I think, is a podcast. We'll call it a day. We actually went through so we've gone from having no game to talk about to discussing like 6.
Hell
today.
yeah.
So yeah,
and we're back to normal.
And yeah, we're back to normal. We're back with a bang. We'll be back next week with some more. Yeah, that's it. So thank you for listening or watching. I've been Mick Fraser. He's been Steve Chambers. He's been Kieran Singh. That was Lyle Pendle, and you guys have been lovely. Bye.
See ya.
Later.